Hi, this is Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. This is my Netflix review of Thor Ragnarok. Now, what's a Netflix review, right? Well, Thor Ragnarok just dropped on Netflix this month, right? Now, a Netflix review is generally going to be a second viewing of a movie for me, right? So I saw Thor Ragnarok, like any true Marvel fan, I saw Thor Ragnarok in the movies, right? On opening night. And so, and I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. And you can find my Thor Ragnarok cinematic review right here on my channel, right? But this is my Thor Ragnarok Netflix review. So this is a really, and I'm going to talk about a few different issues in here. So one, 5 out of 5 star movie. Thor Ragnarok is tremendous. I really feel it is one. So here's where I rank it within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is better than it is. So it's. I'll tell you the ones that are better than Thor Ragnarok. So all the Avengers movies are better than Thor Ragnarok because they're more complex films. They have a lot going there, right? To me, if you take out all of the introductory movies for every single superhero, right? So take out Captain America's first movie, take out Iron Man's first movie, take out Black Panther's first movie, all those take out, and actually all of those rank, and all of the first introduction MCU movies, introduction of a character, are also better than Thor Ragnarok, right? But what is Thor Ragnarok? Where is it, right? Even Ant-Man, I think, is a better movie than Thor Ragnarok, because they're introducing a new character. They're increasing the breadth of the MCU. But what is Thor Ragnarok better than? One, it is the best character sequel movie without exception. It's better than any of the sequels for Iron Man. It's better than any of the sequels for Captain America. And I will say, and it's better than Thor Dark World. And I would say it's better than the first Thor film, right? It is by far the best Thor. So it is the best Thor film and is the best character sequel movie, period, in the MCU. It is absolutely fantastic. And since every movie in the MCU is really strong, that's saying a lot. And Taika Waititi deserves a real praise for what he accomplished with Thor Ragnarok. I absolutely love this movie. It's got a wonderful marriage of humor and action. I think it really, really takes incredible steps with the character of Thor. We get to see the other thing that's doing is expanding this idea of Marvel space, right? This is a growing idea. So we have, so Thor Ragnarok is part of Marvel space. It's spaceships carrying Marvel characters from one planet to another, right? This is fantastic. This is such a cool concept. Guardians of the Galaxy is part of that. Avengers Infinity War is a part of that. And there's so much more to explore there. The idea of Marvel space, right? And I think there's a lot of possibilities of things that can be done in that, in Marvel space. And like when I say space, I mean the vacuum of space, stars, starships, faster than light travel, Marvel space, right? And so the idea of Marvel space, it is a cinematic element that is starting to grow, okay? Now, I'm going to return a little bit to why is this my Netflix review, right? Well, one, I'm such a huge fan of Netflix. I just wanted to say that right here. I absolutely love Netflix. It is absolutely fantastic. I pay my bill every month, and I'm so happy to do it. They have some of my favorite shows on there. Voltron, season 6 is coming up. I absolutely love that show. I've watched Imposters. There's just so many great movies that I've watched on Netflix. It is such a tremendous, awesome value. And I'm going to take the time to say it. And the reason why is I feel like a lot of people feel very comfortable punching up on companies. And a lot of people complain about Netflix. And a lot of people complain about Facebook. And a lot of people complain about Google. And, I'm a pure-blooded red-blooded American, and I love these big, awesome companies that I think are just crushing it and providing tremendous value for the dollar paid. I'm an absolute massive fan of Netflix. And my review of Thor Ragnarok is my Netflix review of it is very high, and the reason why is I didn't need Thor Ragnarok to be added to Netflix queue, right? If Netflix was just doing Netflix originals at this point, I'd be happy with what I was paying, right? There's just so much good content on Netflix. But the reality is they are still picking up great movies, great content to add to that. They are working hard to provide value for what you're paying on Netflix. And Thor Ragnarok was a delightful surprise to find on Netflix. A big thank you to Marvel and Disney for giving this content for letting Netflix buy it, because I know we're getting to this era where there are no more Marvel DC crossovers, right? Well, very soon there's a really good possibility there's going to be no Disney Netflix crossovers. That's something cool that we have right now. The fact that Disney sold Thor Ragnarok to Netflix, so every Netflix subscriber can watch that thing, enjoy it, have fun with it. It's fantastic. I love it, right? And so when Thor Ragnarok dropped on Netflix, I was just thrilled. I was so happy. I said I have a big thank you going to Disney. I have a big thank you going to Netflix, and I just love this movie and rewatching this movie on Netflix. So I watched it by myself. I watched it over 4 or 5 different viewing sessions. So I literally watch, Netflix movies when I'm tying my shoes in the morning and I'm going to work. I watch Netflix when I get home and I'm just eating a quick dinner by myself or a quick meal by myself. I'll put on some Netflix and I'll watch it. And I frequently watch shows in 10-minute, 5-minute bursts on my phone, and then I'll switch over to the big screen. It's a big screen. So I watched half of this movie on a 7-inch screen on my own phone, and I watched half of this movie on a big, nice 48. It's 48 inches, a big screen that I have at home. Really, really nice. It's such a beautiful film. It was just filled with great humor, great action. I just really, really liked it, and I was so happy to see it drop on Netflix. It really was a 5 out of 5 star movie. What did I love about the film? What I really dug about Thor Ragnarok, I really liked what happened with the character of Thor. The idea of seeing his full emergence as the god of thunder, right? And the idea that Mjolnir was just a tool. It was just a tool. It wasn't his real power, right? And that was brilliant. And here we have Anthony, and so Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of Thor is just near flawless in this film. He was born for this role. He does a fantastic job for this role. I was really, really impressed, right? So and he had just so many great moments. One of the awesome moments I thought was just super, super cool in this movie was that was really, really cool within Thor Ragnarok was when he emerges with his God of Thunder power. First, he hits Hela with it. Then he goes down and he helps Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie character, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk character. And they're on the bridge, and he just goes berserk with his lightning powers, right? And he's just using lightning to add force to his punch, using lightning to arc out and destroy enemies at range. Just so powerful. Really, really awesome. And so the idea of the emergence of Thor as the god of thunder, because really before this, we really haven't seen Thor as the god of thunder. He really was what Odin called him, the god of hammers, right? And so this really was like a big, big ratchet up of the, of the character. I thought it was awesome. Very, very cool. Really dug it. Really, really liked it a lot. Just super, super awesome, ratchet up of the character's power. I loved what they were doing with the Hulk. The idea of, and the exploration of the Hulk as Banner and as the Hulk. That these are two people in one body. The idea, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So much there. Such a rich tapestry that's being, sewn within this film. The other idea is, and honestly, I will say, Ed Norton is one of my absolute favorite. He's like top 5 actors of all time, in my opinion, right? I really miss Ed Norton as the Hulk. I have read that the reason he lost that job was that he was like that. He as a person was a jerk to people on set, and they just didn't like him, right? Like, and Marvel didn't like the way he, you know. So Mark Ruffalo has really never been my favorite Hulk, right? I really liked Ed Norton, but I have to say Mark Ruffalo delivered in this movie and continues to deliver as a very strong actor portraying the Hulk within the Marvel Universe. And even though, in my opinion, I wish this role had remained with Ed Norton, I have to acknowledge Mark Ruffalo's fantastic job that he's done with this. Tessa Thompson, amazing addition to the Marvel MCU. The idea of the Valkyrie, having Valkyrie in this film, I thought she was extremely well cast. She added a lot to the movie. It was really, really good. I really liked Thor having a Valkyrie that would help him, and the way he was able to bring her in based on his royal blood. I thought that was a really, she did her job as Valkyrie because he is a prince, right? She is to serve the royal family. Thor is literally a prince within the royal family, and that's the way royalty is supposed to work, right? You're supposed to have, there are supposed to be loyalty to the throne, right? So if your kingdom is based on nobility, on royalty, then clearly there should be fealty, right? So I really like that idea of fealty, and that when you are pledged to a royal family, your fealty needs to outweigh your independence, right? Now, I love America. I'm glad that we are not under under royals anymore. But the reality is, if you are under a royal government, you need to acknowledge your fealty. So I thought that was a really interesting aspect within this film, right? Was that at the end of the day, Valkyrie was like, I need to help the throne here, which is really, really interesting. So I really liked the end of the movie. The idea of Asgard being a people, not a place, very interesting. Taika Waititi's overall direction of the film was just fantastic. Really, really just such a wonderful film. I really liked it for so many reasons. Some of my favorite moments in the film was, I would say my absolute favorite moment in this film was when Thor was trying to guess the password on the Quinjet to get off that planet, where I think it was the Grand Master was. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I think it was the Grand Master. And he's like, the strongest Avenger, right? Like Thor, and he keeps going on, and then he thinks about Tony Stark, and he's like, Point Break, and it opens. I was like, oh yes, that is so cool. It was just so funny and fresh and really, really neat. I loved it. I just loved it. It was so cool. So it was really, really just such a fun movie, and I really dug it a lot. And thank you to Netflix. Thank you to Disney for. I know you got a streaming company coming out. Thanks for not being jerks and still putting some cool stuff on Netflix. The melding of corporations is helpful for us as consumers. I was so happy to see Thor Ragnarok on Netflix. Take care.